there's a reason I brought that up because that could have been it for you. That could have been, all right. You think about your career in a whole, and you're like, oh yeah, no, he had some great fights, and oh yeah, that's kind of sad at the end. That I hate to see him like that. But you were not done, Warrior. You were not done, Chris Leben. So, dude, come on, man. I love a good comeback story. You went through some shit. Now, after this, you were married and you got divorced before this or after this?
Right, shortly after.
Oh boy. Now,
shortly after. Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a ride or die to me, but I don't know. I'm not getting involved. But listen, sometimes you don't got the right
money. Stop coming in and.
Hey man, hey, because
peace. I'm out of here.
This is crazy because it all leads to where you're at now, which is in such a good place. So it's wild, man. Here you are. You're in your 30s. You got out of the UFC. The marriage is over. I assume you're still drinking.
Yeah.
So when did you just say enough of this shit? What was the final straw?
Well, I got thrown in jail for a while.
That might do something to you. You know what I mean? It's all right.
People that say jail don't work, that's full of shit. Go to jail for a while. Go to jail for a while and you realize, at least for me, I was like, you know what? I don't belong here.
Dude, now fighting, drinking, what was it for?
I was that guy. I had a felony firearms possession.
Okay.
So California, they frown on that.
They don't like that too much.
They don't like that, I also had a couple DUIs under my belt now at this point.
Okay.
Fighting, drunken in public, and all of a sudden you get in your 30s, it's not cool anymore.
It's not cool.
Go to jail a couple times and you go, and I was like, fuck, is this, this sucks. Is this it? And pretty soon nobody wanted to, my phone stopped ringing, my friends that used to want to go out and party with me because I was a crippler and it was wild. They didn't want to call me. They were too scared to hang out with me, and not to mention I didn't have all that money I used to have. So I wasn't buying bottle service and rounds for everybody.
Yeah. Real friends, right?
I remember laying on my fucking couch, drinking by myself and being like, fuck, this sucks, and that's when I decided, I'm gonna quit drinking. This is not fun anymore. So, that's when I found a Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in San Diego, and then it was, I did that. I tried that on my own for a while. It was hard. I got a sponsor, right? My sponsor, Tommy, who's now one of my best friends, cornered me for my last fight. He's, and then I put some real effort into it. And next thing I know, I got a job at a gym.
How old were you? How old were you then?
Oh, this was, I guess, a couple years after. Couple years after I got out of the UFC, maybe like 5 years after I got out of the UFC. It took me a second to really hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
So after I retired, I had another year or two of just everything just getting worse. Getting a job, I got a job at a gym. I ended up getting fired for showing up drunk. I got another job at a gym. Pretty soon the gyms didn't even want to hire me.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So it was, once I got sober and I found a gym that would hire me, and I was working there, I was, actually, next thing I know, I was beating the shit out of all the 20-year-olds again, and I was enjoying it.
Yeah. How old were you then? 38?
39? Let's go 34. Maybe
you were still young. I'm sorry. Wait, that's when you were 34? 35?
Yeah, 35, something like that, right? And yeah. So I tried to, I was like, fuck, I want to fight again, And I signed a contract with Bellator. But then I failed my medicals.
Oh.
Apparently my heart was all fucked up,
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, but apparently, alcohol and other things are not good, with excessive. I was burning the candle from both ends for so long.
Yeah.
The old ticker wasn't doing great. So, I just continued to continue to train away, and every 6 months I go back to my cardiologist and be like, oh wow, look, your heart's getting better. It's
That's
getting better.
awesome.
It's up 5%. It's up 10% every time they check my ejection fraction. And then, he said, I went back and he's like, yeah, you're. By the way, the body is pretty amazing. It's not what you put in the body, but more or less what you take out. So just by taking that stuff out, changing my lifestyle, cutting out drinking, just training, changing the way I eat, changing who I hung out with, my heart went from terrible all the way back up to the same as
Yeah.
any 35-year-old guy, 30 whatever I was, 36, 37. Terrible with remembering ages.
Yeah.
But right about the time they said my heart was back to normal is about when I got that call from BKFC.
Yes. And talk about a sport to come along that you're made for. I'll tell you right now, you and Mike Perry, that's your sport right there. Dude, when you first seen that the bare knuckle fighting, were you intrigued?
I told them no, because they had BKFC 1. I think they had one show, and they wanted me on the second show. I told them no, but then I went home and I said, well, fuck, I'm going to YouTube this shit, see what this is all about. I pulled it up on YouTube and I went, well, fuck, bro, if there was ever a sport made for me, like, this is it, So, long story short, I ended up, I was going to fight for them. I made the mistake of fighting for a different organization that offered me a whole bunch more money. That's the one that my first bare knuckle fight was actually not in the BKFC. It was a different show. I fought Phil Baroni.
I remember that. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Man, you're doing way better than him right now. I'll tell you. Hey, Chris, you made some right decisions. Talk about a guy that didn't make right decisions. But go ahead. And now I'll tell you right now, he actually quit in that fight. He was weird in that fight. He was like trying to take you down. What was going on there?
Yeah, so, I guess maybe I was giving him too much credit. I thought he was trying to like fake a takedown so I dropped my hands and he could hit me or something. But he actually, I talked to him later. I caught him. It almost looks like a glancing blow, but right on the initial exchange.
Yeah.
I caught him, and he was wobbly from that point on. So he was doing some weird stuff because he was dancing already rocked.
On ice
skates, trying to hang on. And then, it wasn't, another 20, 30 seconds. They broke us, and when we came back, I was able to catch him the next time as he was trying to work in. Caught him with the left. And
now putting his lights out, the bare knuckle. Did you feel some redemption after the last time you stepped into a fight where you weren't yourself? Now, did you feel like the best version of yourself? Great. You had to feel great.
I felt really great. I had my crew there, all the guys that have been supporting me through my journey. We're in my corner. And to get that win in an old school Chris Leben fashion, just kind of like showing the world, showing me, not necessarily the world, but more me that who I am, that I'm the guy that'll go out there and fight to the death as opposed to the guy that quits on the stool.